Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. With Cornelius. I am your host, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, and I am today sitting in the good room in my house, in the podcast studios, with my wife, the queen of my life, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan. Say hello to the podcast nation.
Hello to the podcast nation.
How are you doing today?
I am great today. I'm really well today, actually. I think now that you asked me the question, I'm just thinking about it. Sometimes you don't really think about it in the mornings.
Really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I think I'm great. Yeah.
You haven't been on the main platform for a while, and but she's on the Patreon every week. If you're interested in signing up to the Patreon, you can do that. Link in the bio. Done.
Done for now.
Done. But you haven't been on the main platform in ages, and I've had a few messages saying when. Like
coughing at you?
I've had a few messages with just people coughing, asking when you're making a comeback. And to those people, I'd like to say, sign up to the Patreon, guys, and you can listen to her every week.
With the extra phlegmy K there as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. So how are you?
I'm great. Yeah, as I said.
Any news? I haven't seen you in ages.
I haven't seen you in ages. No.
Jesus, you're looking great. Are you going out with anyone at the moment?
Something casual, but I'm always open to
a trouble.
There was some discussions about truples in recent days around.
Would it be the worst thing in the world if I brought someone in to just spice things up for us? Lovely looking girl in her, we'll say, late 20s, early 30s. Do a bit of cleaning around the place.
I love it.
So you and me can have a ride.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you got a little girlie in her late 20s, early 30s, you'd be frightened yourself.
I'd be frightened myself. I wouldn't know what to do.
You'd be afraid of your quads.
She'd walk into... my quads wouldn't last. Jesus Christ. I'd be like, tell her to calm down there, Noelle, will you? Fucking hell.
Who's to say it'd be a woman?
Well, I wouldn't be interested if it was a man. Am I right? And if you said to me now, look, babe, I'd love to experiment a little bit more in the boudoir. Would you be interested in bringing another person in? I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I have a list. Here's the list.
She gave me the glad eye at the pitch last week.
Well, fuck it. There would be no one local. Jesus Christ almighty. Absolutely no one local. We'd go as far as Kanturk. But then if you turned around to me and said, yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. I actually have a list as well. And then you handed me a list of all lads. I'd be like...
But imagine it was like, well, if you want her, I have to have... Would you do it then?
What do I have to do in the scenario? Like, have I to what am I to do with the scenario? Am I just sitting on a chair watching?
No, that's different.
Well, I'm definitely not getting involved. I'm not getting involved. You can fuck off. I'm not getting involved. If you say it would be no. A no for me. Then I'd say.
Okay. I would just worth noting.
What would you say? What?
It'd be a no to either situation.
Thanks be to God. Thanks be to fucking God. For a second there, I was like
Is this on the cards on the main platform?
Yeah, she wants to bring a man into the fucking relationship, and she'll only bring in I'm only allowed to bring a woman in if she brings a man in.
I read a book there a while ago. It was stupid. Just a random book.
Is this the one that you brought when we went on our?
No.
Just before she brought this kind of erotic thriller.
It wasn't. It's not. It's a funny book about a group of sisters they range from their late 20s to their early 40s. There's 4 girls, and it's just funny because in the book they talk about sex like women actually just talk about sex. Like, do you know, like the
what? You talk about sex?
The that innuendos and then the
You'd never seen men talk about sex. Actually, men don't talk about sex anymore. I never talk about sex with my friends anymore. Sorry, I interrupted.
That's an age thing, yeah.
Okay, fair. That might be an age thing, yeah. Do you know, do young men talk about it as much? When I was growing up, it's what we'd always talk about. But I hang around with a lot of young lads now. And they never talk about it. But go on anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
So,
apologies.
The laugh was that I used to, when we were away and I'd be reading the book and I'd be laughing about a point in the book and I would just say the point to Con and he'd kind of laugh away as well.
Yeah.
But he thought he was going to, let's just say he thought he was in for a night where his calves weren't going to be able to handle it.
Well, it was just.
Whereas I was just enjoying a funny book. It wasn't 50 Shades of Grey. Like, it was just.
You know, I have a bit of a hernia going on here at the moment, you see, and and when you're, you know, like with the old, like you'd have to be fighting fit for the type of sex that these girls are going on about.
They're not.
You know,
that's the thing. That's the point. Is they're not. One of them was like, they tried to do something that they did when they were
give me
in their
3 weeks
20s,
to get into shape.
and she ended up breaking her leg. Like,
What? She broke her leg?
Yeah, because they tried to do a position that they did in their 20s. That's what the funny thing is.
What kind of a position can you break your leg?
But she fell, like, he dropped her, and she fell, and a cupboard fell on top of her or something. So it's just stupid, like, but it was funny. Like, I think the name of the book is like, Did I lose my sex life when I got married, or something like that?
Oh, right, okay.
Which, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is what it is.
Well, let us just say it didn't deter us.
Easy now.
Okay, right.
But so
Easy
that
now.
was that. It was just funny that I was like, what is wrong with him? But that's what he thought he was in for 50 Shades of Grey moment.
I thought I was whips, change, ball gag, fucking stuff. I thought you were taking me to a Diddy party.
Oh, stop.
The way you were talking.
I wasn't even talking. I was just calling out funny parts in the book.
Party. Did he do it? Did he do it? Did he?
Stop it.
Did he diddle them?
So,
doesn't it sound like an old Irish tradition? Did he diddle them? Oh, diddly diddle, puff for daddy. No, did he diddle them? No, okay, all right, okay.
Diddle.
Diddle 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 diddle
Okay,
diddle.
that's probably
There's no
not
man
great
here who
to
can
be listening to.
All right, okay, sorry.
But anyway, just stop it.
Sorry.
But yeah, so that's.
Did he?
How did we get on to my books?
I don't know.
Or do we need to come back?
I don't know.
Where are we coming back to? The week.
Welcome back to the podcast,
great.
guys.
I'm great.
It's great to have
How
you
are
back.
you?
It's great to have you back on the main platform. I speak to you every week on the Patreon, but it's lovely to give you. It's lovely to share you.
It feels different actually being on the main platform because on the Patreon we can be pretty much guaranteed that people are tuning in week to week.
Yeah.
So it's a continuation from the week before. It's not like a segment of one episode. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
Whereas
It's more kind of a snapshot into the lives and times of Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan and Noel Patricia O'Sullivan.
Woohoo.
Ní Hulawan.
So, how are you, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
You've already done me.
Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm off. Speaking of Galway, there we had our 10-year anniversary a couple of weeks ago on the 13th of September, and we went to Galway for a couple of nights. We had an unreal time, and I'm off the drink since.
Oh yeah.
I'm off the drink since. So the 14th, which was a Sunday, was the last time I had a drink. I don't know what that time is.
And today's the 3rd. So about 3 weeks, is it?
About 3 weeks. Yeah. So I only this week I feel like I'm kind of coming back into myself. I have been, by my own admission, tearing the arse out of it with the drink for about 4 months, 3 or 4 months. Just I don't know what happened. I think when I finished touring, actually. Excuse me. I think when I finished touring, I was like, oh, that was the most amazing experience of my life. I'm going to enjoy the summer now.
Yeah, but I think in the summertime anyway, you're more inclined to have a few subs. Fine weather, I think you're a lot more inclined to chill out.
Get on the gargle, definitely. But it was gone. It was actually gone a bit. It was gone bad for me. Like I was going out like 4 nights, 5 nights a week, and like I was, babe. I was. Yeah.
Maybe it's because you'd be having a pint or two after gigs, so I wouldn't see you anyway.
I come home.
Like the local is right near here, so you just have a pint on your way passing.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't see it.
And for me as well, right? I can't drink. I actually can't. And I've noticed. I found out a little hack. I can't drink the volumes of drinks. So if I have 4 pints. If I have 4 pints, I'm anyone's. I'm fucked. I'm sloshed. And sloshed is a good word. I think beer as well. Beer kind of it fattens you up and it depresses you and it slows the brain. But anyway, long story short.
So your 4 nights out is probably someone else's just 1 night of drinking though. That's the thing, because it's not about the quantity. It's just the impact it has on you.
Yeah, the impact, like even 2 pints, the impact for me is dread. Just the next day, I just have this existential dread, and I have this anxiety that, oh my God, I like, and then to try and temper the anxiety, then I'll fucking be smoking the weed. I'm after weed as well. I'm after smoking the weed. I'm not after the edibles, but I'm after smoking the weed, so I've given that up as well. Anyway, long story short, 3 weeks later, I'm ready to go back on the drink. I know.
Feeling well enough.
I feel good. I feel positive again. There was a few things as well that happened.
Yeah.
I was at the back end of my tour, of my own solo tour, and so I had done at the start of the year. I'd done the Everyman, Whelan's and Dolan's and the Barras and about 4 or 5 other. Did one here in Mallow, did one in Kilkenny.
Big gigs
that were well attended, and that like I did very well at those shows, and my show was well received. But I had a few smaller gigs booked that I took a chance on. Like Chris, I remember Chris saying to me, book that there now, book that there, get in there, do that there. And I had a few of those kind of gigs that I was kind of uncertain about, but you have to do these gigs. These are gigs that you have to do to build up your profile in that area, so that when you come back with your new show the following year,
it doubles,
that it increases by 30% or 20% or 50% or 100%. But it's the show's good, and people come back and they bring friends, and
they say that it was good. Oh, we saw him. He's very good.
Yeah.
We'll go again. You should come. He's funny. We watched him last year.
So I had 3 of those lined up, right? Newcastle West in Limerick, Carlow, and Youghal in Cork, Youghal, right? And ticket sales were fucking horrendous.
But like, you didn't exactly do any PR for them either. Like, not a lot.
Babe, I've already told you I was flat out on the gas. How am I supposed to gas?
I think you lost the bit of the momentum for it as well. It's all learning, and it was probably too far. Those gigs were booked in too far away from the rest of the tour.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what it was.
And yeah,
because I should have scheduled them all together, and because then it's tiring fucking going on to Instagram every day going, hi guys, I'm doing some stand-up comedy, come and see me. I mean, Carlow, Newcastle West, Youghal, Cork, Dublin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so what fucking, and I was about 2 weeks after, or about a week and a half after drink, I was kind of coming out of the DTs, feeling fucking, the mind wasn't great, the attitude, the positivity. I was glass half empty. There was no glass there. I'd fucked the glass against the wall, and I was dancing on the shards.
You weren't that bad either.
Well, I was fairly fucking down now, I have to say, if I'm being honest, but anyway, I'm not now. And the Newcastle West gig and the Youghal gig were all both on the same week. One was on the Friday and one was on the Saturday. And I was like, right. And so I was getting ready for those, and I was going over my old material again and going through my show again, and I was ready for it. And then your man from Youghal rang me on a Monday, and he said, there's 5 tickets, Con. 5 tickets now, lads, right? And I'm like, right, okay. Like, and I spend years writing. This is my first proper solo show, like 5 tickets.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, all right, okay. And it's 150 seater, right? And the reason that I was playing this venue was because I had supported Chris there, and Chris had obviously sold it out because he's amazing, fantastic. But Chris is at this a lot longer, and I had done very well. And your man said, "Oh, that was brilliant. Will you please come and do the show?
Have you your own show?" And you're like, "Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I'm on tour with it at the moment." Blah 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 blah. Booked it, and he could not have been nicer. This fella, Carl is his name. A gentleman. He rang me up at 5. He said, "We've 5 tickets sold," and this is on the Monday. The show's on the Saturday. And I was like, all right, okay. And he said, so look, we'll probably have to take it out of the auditorium, right? And I was like, that's totally cool, man. Absolutely. He goes, but we can put it into the foyer, and, hopefully we'll sell a few more this week, and we'll push it now. And he goes, can you push it? And I'll give away some tickets. And I was like, in my own head, I was like, oh, I just want to fucking cancel this now.
Yeah.
I just want to cancel this now. But I didn't cancel it because he was being quite positive about it.
Yeah.
Still. So I said, grand, no bother. I said, I'll give you a ring later in the week. We'll see how things are. And my own head was like, if I ring on Thursday and there's still fucking 5 tickets gone, I'm just going to say, look, listen, man, we've to call we're both going to be embarrassed here. Like, so that was grand anyway. So the next gig then, right, so we'll wait there now for a second. So then the next gig was on the Friday in Newcastle West. And there was a few tickets gone for it. There was a few fucking tickets gone for this now.
Yeah, that was grand. Yeah.
But your man rang me up and he was like, oh, look, fucking, I totally forgot. The Listowel races are on. The Listowel races are on this weekend. It's a huge weekend in the venue, and it was a bar venue as well, this one. So it was a bar at the front and a venue at the back. But they'd open up the venue for horse racing and to get the crack after the races. And they might have live music and get people back there. I could see his point now. Like,
the pub was going to be very busy that weekend.
Exactly.
If he didn't have you in the back.
And like, I was happy with the amount of tickets that I had sold at that stage, but it still wasn't going to be anywhere near a full fucking thronged pub with lads horsing pints of Guinness into them. So he was like, we're going to have to reschedule, you know? And I was like, all right, okay. And what was annoying about this was that there was a few tickets sold.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, okay, no bother. And he goes, look, we'll reschedule for the new year. And it was so laissez-faire by him. And I was just like, this is literally fucking my mortgage. This is a payment. This is a fee that I'm getting here for, like, I was doing a ticket split with the guy. And I knew that there was going to be more people coming as well.
Yeah, it would have been a good gig, like,
it would have been
around.
It would have been a good gig in a decent venue, and it would have been a good payday as well. And fucking, I was relying on that payday, Noel, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm like, every week I look at what's coming in and what's going out, and you know, and you like, I give you our money then out of that, like, you know, and you go in and work the magic of this, you know, this place. And it just was and I couldn't do anything. I couldn't. I said to him, look, why don't we move it into the small pub up the front? And he goes, oh no, it'll be all packed. He said it'll be all packed, and he just said, we'll just be rescheduling it. And I was like, all right, okay. There's one gig with 5 people sold. I've this other one then where I have a few sold, and I know it's going to. I knew it was going to be good. I knew because I was talking to a friend of mine from Limerick, Richard Collins is his name. He used to do comedy years ago, and he's like, oh, there's a gang of us going, you know, and they weren't even like, anyway. I was just like, fuck off, like that's like you're cancelling. You wouldn't cancel a band, like, do you know what I mean? You wouldn't cancel you know, we're just very cancelable.
Yeah, but I suppose back to kind of yourself, and we'll say more the other gig. Like, I remember one evening, I don't know, was it in relation to that gig or was it a different gig, but I was in bed and you were coming to bed, and I just happened to wake up, and I just heard you saying to yourself, I'd say I'm going to have to cancel that gig. And it was like, that is just a desperate way to go to bed. Like, it's because it's so personal. Like, do you know, I was saying, if you're in a mainstream working, like, you do a good job, you go for a job interview for a promotion, we'll say, you either get it or you don't get it. And even when you don't get it, they nearly give you a reason why, or you see somebody else got it. And I suppose like that would be the audition part if you go for auditions. But there's such another world of like, you've got a brilliant show. Like, we know the show is brilliant. You know the show is very good. Like,
and it's nearly over now. My tour's nearly over. I won't be
doing
it anymore.
The thing is that it's about getting people to come and see it then is a different, like, because as a touring comic, that's what you have to do. You have to go into all these little venues and get the few people to see it. Then next year, a few more, they bring more, and you're on Instagram, and that fella, like, you seeing somebody on Instagram, we'll say, doing a video. If somebody has seen your comedy in real life, that is like triple or quadruple their word saying, oh, I saw him, he's really funny. If he's there, you should go see him.
Well, word of mouth has always been and always will be the best salesperson on planet Earth.
Yes.
Like, I even said to you about your WhatsApp group yesterday. You have a WhatsApp group for mothers and others, and you were going on about the hat with the light in the front of it, and someone said, oh, they're on offer now, and you said, oh, there's 25 of us bought them. And I was like, if Tesco could get into those WhatsApp groups across the country, they'd make a fortune because because you're you know, it's a genuine, there's no skin in the game, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, this is what's in. And that's the same with word of mouth. It's the word of mouth.
Yeah.
And so when there was five, five down in Youghal. The Newcastle West gig was gone. Carlo, then I had taken a punt on Carlo, and I had 2 tickets sold for Carlo. Now you're right, I hadn't pushed it at all. I hadn't pushed it, but like, is there anyone living in Carlo? Like, do you know what I mean? I think actually everybody in Carlo was going to the gig. The 2 people were going. I'm only messing. There's 4 people living in Carlo. But so I had that then hovering in the background. So I rang your man then on the Thursday, Carl, right? And he was delighted with life. He was like, great news. Great news. And I was like, all right, what's the great news? He goes, we're up to 12. We're up to 12. And I was like, so in my head then, right, and I knew it was going to be in the foyer, which is outside, and they'll bring the seats out, they'll put a stage, and it's this is the Youghal Arts Centre. It's gorgeous. It's right on the sea. Actually, I knew the vision of how it would be, and I said, and I was like, all right, okay, 12, perfect, perfect. But like inside, I was dying, and I was like, yeah, that's great, 12, and it was going ahead anyway, and he hung up, and I'd say I was off the phone maybe 2 minutes, and Chris Kent rang me for something else.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he was like, and how are you getting on anyway? Like he was asking me about something, and we were doing it for him. Then he said, and how are you getting on? And I was like, I'm not getting on great.
Yeah,
not getting on great. I've got like 12 sold in Youghal, and I'm in the foyer now, And he was like, sure, I was the king of the foyer.
Yeah, I did that foyer. That's a nice foyer.
That's
yeah.
I'm the king of the foyers. I've done foyers up and down the countryside. And I remember him when we were in Derry. He was doing a big, massive theatre in Derry this year. And we were walking in, and he was like, see that foyer there? I did a gig there one time. and 2 people got up. And it was a glass foyer. Walked out the door, went around to the side, smoked a fag while he was doing his show, and then came back in to watch the rest of the show. And I just got on with it, and he said, I'm the king of the foyers. I've done those. He goes, I've done those. And that's what you have to do. You have to just suck that shit up. You have to suck it up and fucking give them a great show and hope that they'll come back again the next year and bring people back with them. And honestly, it's what I needed to hear. Yeah. You could have said it to me.
Yeah. I knew you needed a call with Chris, because Chris is your he is your inspiration from a touring comic, because there's a lot of people who have.
I kind of inspire him as well. That one. I think I inspire him to greatness as well.
Like there's a lot of people who have done really well on Instagram or Facebook and have developed a huge following really fast from that, and that happens as well. And you have to have content behind it. You have to be very funny behind it, but you can't wait for that to happen. Like you can't wait to explode on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok. It happens for some people, but you have to drive it on as well. And that's what the touring around the venues to the foyer to foyer, you have to have all that behind you as well. If you can't be waiting for TikTok to blow up, or whatever.
Social media is definitely an aspect of it. And to be fair to Chris, Chris blew up on social media, we'll say there, in the last 2 years. He's been doing all these venues when he didn't have a big following,
Yeah.
And his work was always amazing. And it's the work. So look, anyway, I felt better after that, and I was kind of trying. Honestly, I definitely think the lingering vibe of all the alcohol as well was keeping my energy low, and I was kind of coming out of it. And then Dan, who normally supports me, couldn't go to the gig on Friday, so I got the Mine guy, who's on this podcast all the time, to come, and we had great crack. I collected him on the day, and we had great crack in the car on the way down.
Yeah,
we got to the venue on I want to say, was it Friday night? I think it was the Friday night or the Saturday night anyway, but I think it was the Friday night.
Whichever one anyway. The Youghal gig.
The Youghal gig, because the Newcastle West one was gone anyway. Got down there, and your man Carl was just in great form and really nice, and he really lifted my spirits. And there was 20 tickets gone, right? So then I was doing some crowd work with everyone, and I was counting them out, 20 people, and then I started counting the comedians and the bar staff, and when you counted us all there was 26, and if you round that up, that's 30. That's the way I was saying it to them. And honestly, it was one of the most enjoyable gigs of the whole tour. It really was. It was really, and afterwards I was talking to people. I was getting a few photos, shaking the hands and chatting and having the crack with the people who'd come out and paid money to come and see to see the show. And I remember coming back and talking to Pete about it. We got chips afterwards, and I was like, this is just the fucking grind that has to happen. And like, I'm definitely going to go back there next year. You know, I'm definitely going to go back there, and I'm going to bring my new show back there, and hopefully those 20 will come again, and there might be 25 next year, or 30 next year, or 40. And like, I just think, I suppose, like, fucking in this world, you know, mental health, like, it's fragile because you're putting yourself up to be knocked down all the time anyway, you know, and you're judged instantaneously on what you say, what comes out of your mouth, like through laughter. You know, you're judged instantaneously. And also then when you're online, you're also judged. There's loads of fuckers going, look at his bollocks online.
Yeah,
Who does he fucking think he is? I knew him when he was a, you know, that kind of way. And like, I'm not a rhinoceros. I don't have fucking thick alligator skin either, you know. I mean, it's like, you can block out the noise sometimes, but sometimes it gets in, and then doubt comes in.
Yes.
And doubt is the thing. But I think any artist, any comedian, any singer, any actor out there, doubt is
in the arts, like anyone.
You never know. Like, you don't know when your next, like that Newcastle West gig was so demoralising, because not only was I looking forward to doing it, but I was actually counting on the money that week as well to come in, because Coco was quiet at the time. You know, coming through the summer was like, you know, summer comedy during the summer is not it's not peak time, like, you know, it's bright outside. But I'm delighted with it. I cancelled the Carlo gig. I'm not going to Carlo for two people, and I had been for sale for ages, and it was my fault because I didn't push it, and so 1 out of 3 of those gigs happened, and the lessons I learned was, like, you know, you have to just plow on.
Yeah, and we definitely took the foot off the gas for those gigs, in a sense that, like, when you were in Dolan's and we got you on the radio and all that PR side of it, like, it wasn't a constant flow of it, so we stopped with those. Like, as I said to you, I didn't even know you were doing that Carlo gig until the week of the gig,
and you've relations in Carlo. I mean, we could have probably.
No, but what I mean is that your social media wasn't telling me either, and I obviously wasn't doing any work to promote it.
I promoted none of those gigs. I can honestly say that, and it was my own fault, because I wasn't right. I was fucking. I was in holiday mode for about 4 months, drinking and smoking, and I was doing Coco, and I was writing. I was doing a lot of writing as well.
I think that was it. You're right. You weren't in holiday. I think you're being a bit harsh on yourself there now, because you were writing your new show, which takes a different kind of mindset and energy. It takes a creative. You really have to be in the creative zone.
And I like to be getting locked as well when I'm writing. I like to be kind of, you know, in that negative, sarcastic mindset.
Yeah, but you're not. It's a different person to the business side.
Yeah.
Like, that's in comedy. Like, it's hard to be both the artist and the business side.
It's hard to be the artist and the businessman when you're a comedian. Go on.
Do you think you're on Flight of the Conchords?
Do you think you're on Flight of the Conchords? His wife sarcastically said. We've got the 2 opening lines of a bestseller there.
Whoa.
All right? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Stop it with you.
Stop it with you.
I don't think he's getting my annoyance in this moment. Awkward.
Okay, it's gone.
Gone. Any other news? So that's you, and you feel a lot better now. That was a long-winded way.
Now.
That was a long-winded way of coming out of. How are you?
I'm much better now that I've done all those gigs. That I didn't do the Carlo gig, and I didn't do the Newcastle gig. But I did the Yall gig, and I feel much better now. But can I just go back to that Yall gig, right? Because the Yall
gig were off again. Go on.
No, because that was the one, right? There was 5 gone on the Tuesday, and like, it just pulled together. And if the venue will work with you, and Carl, I want to shout him out. If you're down in Yall, lads, go and support the
Yall Live, isn't it?
Yall Live events. It's at they've got their own art centre down there, and it's a gorgeous venue. And he just was, I could see him, he was behind me all the way, like, and he was like coming into the green room at half time, and, you know, chatting and eager for it to be good.
For you to enjoy it as well, yeah.
Compared to like to that Newcastle West gig where I was just I felt I was just a number to them.
Yeah.
I felt I was like, okay, even though you have booked me for this fucking, maybe 2 months ago, now I'm just like a fly that you just need to swat away. Like, obviously they have to make money, like, but that was their own negligence, like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd go back there anyway, to be honest. Fuck them.
Oh, fuck them.
Yeah, no, I just felt that it was really callous the way it was just like, yeah, you've no say in this is gone. Good luck.
Yeah.
See you later.
But it might
Yeah,
have
we'll get
been
you back though. We'll get you back. Like, why would you go back to someone like that then? Like, why would you go back? Why would you trust that person again? In my opinion, like, and like, maybe the truth is coming out here now, like, but fuck 'em, I wouldn't go back to that venue. I actually
You could just go back and get a deposit.
What do you mean?
Ask for
Oh,
a
get a
deposit
deposit
for
the next
booking
time.
if they booked you.
Yeah. But I suppose that's the difference with pub venues and like the arts,
Theatres,
the theatre venues.
Theatre, art centres, or whatever.
So anyway, look, I understood why they did it, but I still thought it was. Still thought it was poor form by them. But I'm feeling much better now. How are you?
So weird today. Are you excited for your Cocoa Club night out tonight?
We're having our annual Cocoa Club staff party tonight. You should be coming to this. I was only thinking.
Oh, well.
Yeah, you should be coming to this. We have a childminder. She's inside there.
Sleep.
Noel's mum is with us for the week.
No, thanks.
Yeah, you'd hate it.
Absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
I love everyone in there, but it's
just not your
so
vibe.
far from my scene. I'm like, 12 years ago, when we first met, I managed just about to be relevant and to be in there and to be able to converse with others in that comedy world. Whereas now,
You're a mom.
I'm a mom
2 kids.
of 2 kids. I know.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
Your priorities have changed.
It's hard to converse. Now, with the older comedians, I can manage.
You get on but you get on with them all individually.
Yes.
But I suppose
and they're
Harry
all
would probably
lovely.
be the only one that is relevant to us in terms of age, like.
Yeah,
And shout out to Harry Hussey. Harry's a patron on this podcast. He's a fantastic comedian. I actually really love watching Harry Hussey. And if you're looking now, he doesn't do much. He doesn't put many clips up online. But if you're ever in Cork, come to the Cocoa Club and check out Harry Hussey. Go on.
Okay, like all of them are lovely. It's not about the lads as people. It's just about having to have conversations, and like it's all comedy.
Yeah.
And that's not me. So I never watched comedy. So it's just
Did you ever watch comedy at all growing up?
if you like Friends and
Yeah.
it's the typical, but not a lot of stand up. Like I like Michael McIntyre
You did, yeah.
and Peter Kay.
Peter Kay is brilliant.
Like they would have been 2. I did like a long time ago. What's his name that does Mrs. Brown's Boys? Never watched.
Brendan O'Carroll.
Brendan O'Carroll. I liked his stand up years ago when I was way too young. Like the snowballs ones. How's your snowballs? Like those. Yeah. I like those. I didn't really.
Filthy kind of.
Desperate stuff. How was I even allowed to watch it?
Well, that's because your mother
loves filth.
And she'd have no bother. She'd like, come on away down.
Yeah.
But Mom, I'm 7. It doesn't matter. We'll get you in. Have a drink.
But that was who. Anyone else did I like?
Brendan O'Carroll, Peter Kay, Michael McIntyre. I like. Do you know what? No, they're all good. They're all great comedians. To be fair to them, they're all great comedians. Every one of them. So you good old taste. Peter Kay would be my favourite of those 3.
He's very funny.
Yeah.
Got to know him through Noel. Michael McIntyre. I'd like to see Peter Kay or Michael McIntyre. I'd actually like to see them the next time we must see.
Michael McIntyre.
I think he's funny.
When I was starting comedy, my mother bought me Michael McIntyre's autobiography one Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next year she brought me the same book.
Well, his is an interesting book, like.
It's a very interesting story. His father was in the game as well. He's not respected at all in the comedy industry.
Because he seemed to be too privileged, was it?
Kind of because he's too privileged, and he got a lot of doors open to him. But he's undoubtedly very funny.
But if you look at it, if you read his biography, he doesn't seem to come across that he got doors opened. But obviously, if you don't, you're not going to scream that. But like, I did like that he was on about his mortgage payment going to Edinburgh Fringe, and he put money into the show that was
For a mortgage, yeah.
For the mortgage. And like he was going to be going hand in cap to somebody
Yep.
looking for money if that show didn't work out. So
I'm not
I think,
negative, honestly.
No, I
No,
know.
because and it's really cool as well. Comedians, it's really cool to shit on Michael McIntyre. To be honest, and Brendan O'Carroll, that's really cool to shit on them. Mrs. Brown's Boys, like people think that's a pile of shit, but it's like it's the biggest selling comedy.
People love it, so you know your audience.
So it's the biggest selling comedy. Like comics sometimes there as well. They're just trying to be too cool as well. Like
Yeah.
Like so.
I think but I think when I met you, you were probably like it's
hot, slim, well hung.
Sorry, I was talking about when I met you.
Yeah, hot. Okay, I was a bit chubby, I suppose. Go on.
I was more
Downstairs.
the well hung.
Oh.
That was what was confusing me.
Too late now because I knew you were going to be disparaging there, so I talked over you.
No, but like I think like remember when I was saying to you when you were at the start and your jokes were just so cringe, but they were still kind of funny, but it was the relatable. Like Michael McIntyre is so relatable.
Yeah.
And I think that's what your comedy needed a little bit of, and now you've added it in. So
Well,
I've made you a
when
better
your wife
comedian.
is fucking in your ear every single day going, that's not funny, that's not funny, that's not funny, that's not funny. You tend to listen to
But then because you have those bits, you're able to bring in your It's funny how I'll be interested to see this show, because I suppose a lot of your stuff from your last show I would have seen.
Yeah.
Whereas I won't have seen any of this being performed and worked on and think. But like it was so funny to see your poetry that was cringe and oaks blended into some really funny bits that meant that your poetry then became funny as well. But you were able to, your poetry now is a lot about your acting it out as well. So it's what's on the page but how you act it out.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see. But before it was all that without a lot of the acting out. So
It was
just
called
shit.
alternative comedy, okay?
Shit.
It's called alternative. Look,
But then I like how you're like, comedians like to try and be as cool as they can. When I met you, you were trying to be as cool as you can. I think it's about.
how dare you? I was always uber cool. That's uber is a cool word, just in case you didn't know.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was uber cool. Cool. With a K. But yeah, no, comics are fucking wankers. I'm a wanker. Like honestly, we're like all fucking lads and girls who've had fucking trauma in some way in their past, perceived or whether it happened or whether it didn't happen, you've perceived that it was that, like, oh, woe's me kind of vibes, like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think all all comedians are like that?
Well, most of them are.
It's quite wide sweeping now.
Well, there are people then that actually do have the trauma then as well, that they make the best comedians. and then the people that don't have it invent it.
Yeah,
you know.
like you.
Well, like no, not like me. How dare you? How dare you? Well, like, I'm actually drawing off all of this negativity for my current show.
You're using
my new show is going to be amazing for the abuse that I take off you.
You're going to,
My wife abuses me.
No, you just take my
but
trauma.
I take it so that I can write a
You
new
just
show.
use my trauma, is it?
Your trauma. Well, look, I've always said you would be a fucking amazing stand-up comedian. And I'll say it as well for the record here. You're funnier than me.
Oh, 100%.
Yes, 100%.
You know that. I'm
So,
also a nicer person.
and better looking,
Yeah.
bigger boobs, marginally.
You've got better nipples.
You have a bigger cock as well.
Oh. That wouldn't be hard.
Look, listen, it's down to the knee at the best of times.
Your knee's your cock.
Yeah, well, it's been going in there for ages. You didn't notice the difference. You just have a gaping vag. Do you want to see? It's just a knee will sort.
Oh, bring it back into the room, Can bring it back.
It's not the size of my willy. It's just you've got a fucking. It's like.
That's 2 kids.
Welcome back to the podcast, guys.
So, are you back in the room?
I'm back in the room, yeah.
So, have you anything else to say for yourself
No.
on this Thursday?
No. Have you anything else to say for yourself on this Thursday? It's nice to have you on the main platform.
Yeah, it's nice to be on it.
Will we talk about what our plan is?
What plan?
Whip.
Oh, whip. Oh, you going to announce that today?
We could.
We could.
I think it might be a nice little announcement. Well, it hasn't done yet, but it's in the pipeline. So, starting a new podcast.
Cornelius is starting a new podcast.
No,
where?
No, I'm not.
Ooh.
We're starting a new podcast.
Yes.
So this is Conversations with Cornelius. It's going to be kept. Obviously, I've started this podcast during the pandemic. We alluded to this during the summer as well. We said we've got some news, but you're gonna blah blah blah. But we've only kind of formed our idea fully.
Yep.
In the last maybe 2 weeks. So we're going to start a new podcast that is going to be weekly. Myself and Noel only. Really, I don't think we'll have any guests on.
Well, we might.
We won't close the door.
Do you know what? I'd say we will have guests because I think I think they'd work well.
Okay, I'm out. I told you this wouldn't work. I told you it wouldn't work.
Maybe we should have planned this offline before coming on. But anyway, yeah.
So the podcast is going to feature myself and Noel, right? And I'll tell you why, right? Is because we do the Patreon every week and we get such a great response to the Patreon. Loads of like messages and like the community that is there they're kind of tuned into us, and I sometimes think that the episodes that we do on the Patreon are excellent episodes, and I'm like, I wish everybody could hear that.
Yeah.
You know? So I was toying with starting, a different type of podcast, a sports podcast or whatever. And Conversations is like basically I have my friends on.
And
like
different people.
I have different people on, and the Mind Guy and Dylan are very regular as well. They're like, and we've great crack with them. And Tyga's been on, and Dom will be on, and Sully will be on, and Mike will be on, and Conspiracy John, and all the old crew from time to time.
But it's all. I know that they're just your friends and me come on, but like that's all very diverse as well. Like it's different, comedy, sports, life.
Yeah.
Being like home life. Magic, conspiracy. There's all different worlds there, and that's what I suppose Conversations with Cornelius is. It's
about
different people talking
exactly.
to you.
Whereas I find when you and I do a podcast, we naturally just talk about our life and what's going on in our life and what's going on with our kids, and we really enjoy doing those. But I do sometimes think that it gets lost on the Patreon. Obviously, here those good episodes. So we're going to start a podcast. We're going to call it
Work in Progress.
Whip. Work in Progress.
So the idea being, I think we're together 12 years and we've always been doing something. We've been doing some sort of diet, some sort of exercise, some sort of something, working towards being better. Be it. So we've always some work in progress.
We've also given up very quickly, as you can see.
Yeah. So we need to get back on. As I said, fad diets, like people say, oh, you should do fad diets. But at least we'd be doing a fad diet. We used to like diet for a period of time and then maybe not do anything and then do something else. Mm-hmm. But I think this time round, we've been working on ourselves differently.
But it's kind of more work in progress
as a whole.
So we're gonna talk about things that we're working on, like our fitness, our health, DIY in the house, how we're raising our kids, how we're working on our relationship, fucking things like how we're working, and because we think life is a work in progress anyway.
Yeah,
and like
you don't fail really. We try not to in our house anyway. We try not to like fail as such, as in if something goes wrong.
I think it's the opposite. I think we fail all the time. I think.
Oh no, but as in it's not just everything's a work in progress. So if you failed at it today, tomorrow, you can
it doesn't
work on
matter.
it again. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's just drive on forward.
Let's fail better. No, but that's a saying. Fail. Who cares? Fail better. What is it? Basically, it's how you get better. Like if you fail, okay, you failed. Go again tomorrow. Fail better tomorrow.
Yeah, your failure tomorrow is better than your failure today because you're a step further.
And like if you think about like weightlifting and stuff like that, like you get further when you fail, like when you can't lift it any longer and stuff like that. So Yeah, work in progress. It's gonna be coming out in the new year. We're hoping to get it out for January. That's our hope. But we have done Trojan work, and I want to take my hat off to my gorgeous wife here, who's done Trojan work behind the scenes with like getting all our fucking taxes up to date. Now there's just stuff that I'm shit at. That like, you know, clearing up all behind the scenes, getting everything streamlined, the business streamlined and stuff like that. That we've got a load of things. You've cleared a load of things that were backlogging in the background.
Yeah.
And
so now we're ready to work on forward, I suppose.
We're ready
so
to
it
go
aligns
forward.
with work in progress.
And we did the live podcast in the Cork Opera House this year, and have to say, it was so much fun, and you were unreal. You were unreal in it.
So does that mean I need to have a bottle of wine for every podcast
I'd
we do?
say
Work
probably.
in progress.
Yeah, probably. And you know, like we're going to do maybe we will definitely do a live podcast next year. Again, somewhere, and I think that's just something that we can do. That's fun as well, and you know.
Yeah, and we'll obviously have something. We'll have the Patreons as well, like, and there'll be exclusive stuff on that.
Oh
side
yeah,
of
the
the house.
Patreon is going to continue. Like, I mean, we're still going to do a Patreon every week anyway. You know, so that's not going to affect any of the Patreons. We'll be figuring all of that out. Everyone will be notified in due course.
You're a simpleton.
You are so beautiful to me. Not when you do that with your nostril. Definitely not when you do that with your nostril. So that's it now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think we have anything else to say. Have you anything else to say?
I think we won't bother talking to each other for the rest of the day. No, we have enough chats done.
Well, I have a lot to do now, so I have to get ready.
Oh, you're so busy.
I must take my son to the swimming pool. I must
I'm
go
so
to Cork.
excited.
We're going. Oh, we never said what we're doing in the staff night out.
No, you look like you were coming in for the shift there.
The staff night out tonight. We're going playing board games. Are you sure you don't want to come?
Are you bringing a hip flask?
No, I'm going to have some weed cookies.
Same as a hip flask.
Same as a hip flask.
Actually, I like an old board game, but I'm not.
Yeah. I can't. We must get the chessboard out for the boys.
Yeah.
I think Hunter's nearly ready to learn chess.
Yeah.
But
okay.
That's
what you're doing tonight.
That's what I'm doing now. So tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so all right.
Good luck.
Is that it?
That's it.
Are we done now?
We're done.
Will we say goodbye to them?
Turn it off.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Stand by the wall. Love you. Good night. God bless. Ireland. Bye.
See Cornelius's comedy show, A Bird in the Hand, upstairs in the Roundy on the 25th of October.